Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And this is from writer-director Ryan Coogler, and is a sequel to the Marvel film Black Panther, which turned out to be one of the most critically acclaimed and biggest box office hits that Marvel has had in the MCU. And unfortunately, after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, they had to make a lot of changes to what they were planning on doing for Wakanda Forever. And from the very start, we see Shuri, played by Leticia Wright, trying her darndest at the first scene of this film to save her brother's life from this illness, and unfortunately she cannot. And what we get to experience are the biggest things about this film is the emotional gravity that permeates throughout the whole entire film, from T'Challa's opening funeral, scenes of like beautiful montages of like clips of him, what they did even with like the Marvel logo at the beginning of the film. There's weight to this, and there's a lot of emotional weight to this film and intensity that you don't get in some of the many of the other MCU films, and I think that's one of its biggest strengths. You also have a story centered around Shuri, who is coming in conflict with her mother, trying to do right by her brother, and really, on some level, avoiding a little bit the potential of taking over and becoming the Black Panther and ruling this kingdom. And you see her frustrations with tradition and the expectations and beliefs of Wakanda and a lot of the elders, and being in conflict with it. And that permeates because you have an antagonist in Namor, played by Tarosh Hereda, who is fantastic. The gravity that he brings to this character, who is a godlike figure to his people, and they rally behind him. He has this intensity and gravitas of magnetism that is just so appealing for Namor. And you have this character who really represents this isolationist perspective of an advanced society, and that comes to blows with Shuri and her perspective on things. And Namor winds up becoming a perfect parallel to the elements of Wakanda that Shuri's trying to put away and bury down and get past. And that adds so many interesting layers to this film, with an antagonist and who's this leader of Telecon, this underwater civilization supposed to be similar to Atlantis, because, you know, they made these changes, from what I understand, because it's like, we already have Aquaman, who are Atlantean, just trying not to confuse people. But you really get this parallel between Wakanda, and you have Namor's civilization as well, and they come into conflict. There's a lot of tension and suspense. There's some exciting action throughout the film. There's a lot of emotional gravity throughout the film, and amazing performances across the board. You have Leticia Wright, who at one point in the film, she has to make a drastic shift, and she's able to play it expertly. And with the intensity that she's able to bring to the role, Lupita Nyong'o is a nice addition as Nakia, as she starts getting brought into the fold at some point in the film. Danai Gurira as Okoye gets some emotional moments in this film where she really gets to show things off. Winston Duke is funny as always, but also has a real level of wisdom and gravitas and confidence that is really magnetic. Angela Bassett absolutely kills it as Ramonda, and she legitimately should be getting Oscar attention. You have Dominique Thorne, who plays Riri, aka Ironheart, who's introduced into this film in, I feel like, an organic way, and I think it works. And, you know, she's a welcome addition to this cast. You do have Martin Freeman, who I wish there was less of, and there's one other particular character that comes along with him that I just feel like was not necessary for this film, and I kind of wish they just did away with that character in the film, but they didn't. They're there, and you kind of deal with it. But this film is deep and resonant and emotional and hits on so many different important beats. I felt like the pacing was impressive. I never felt the 2 hours and 40 minutes. There are a few elements that I do think could have just been let go. But you have this really impressive sequel that ups the scale and brings in this whole entire new nation and an incredible new antagonist in Namor, and really setting up the future of Wakanda and these characters. And I really loved this film. It hit me real good. It hit me in an impressive way, and really look forward to recommending this to people. But those are my thoughts on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.